Hello, thank you so much for clicking on this. And if you're new here, a very special welcome to you. If you're not, a very special welcome to you as well. Make sure to join the family if you're new by clicking on the subscribe button so that you never miss a bit of everything that goes on right here. Welcome to the month of June. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we are June 2020 already. I mean, can somebody tell Corona to wrap it up already? Like, there are a lot of things that we're supposed to be doing right now. Speaking of Corona, I hope that you're staying safe. I hope that you are keeping yourself and your hands and everyone around you clean. All right. So recently we celebrated World Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is on the 28th of May. Fun fact, do you know how they came up with that day? You know, most ladies have a cycle of 28 days. And most ladies have a period that lasts for 5 days. And so they were 28, 5. And there you have it, the 28th of May, World Menstrual Hygiene Day. Cool, right? The day was actually come up with, the day actually originated from a non-profit organization in Germany called WASH. And I think that started in 2014 and is dedicated to raising awareness around menstruation and menstrual hygiene. All right, like I said, we recently celebrated it on the 28th of May. And generally, there have always been a lot of conversations around menses, but we don't know whether these conversations around menstruation are the conversations that we really want to be having right now. Because the conversations that we really want to be having are conversations that reduce the stigma that has been attached to menses, such as shame, disgust, and social constructs that have been built to kill the idea of celebrating menstruation. This year, the theme was periods in pandemics. And yes, guys and girls, periods do not stop in pandemics. Girls are still physically and socially bleeding through the stigma that is associated with menstruation. And men have their own thing to say. They're calling on us to stop using menses as a weapon against them, especially when it comes to sex. And how do we do that? And much more. Find out. This is Conversation with Sylvia, and you are welcome. Welcome back. So, menstruation is monthly bleeding from a woman's vagina as part of her monthly cycle. So, what usually happens is that once you start menstruating, your body gets ready for you to get pregnant every month. So, when you do not get pregnant, the uterus or the womb sheds its lining that it provided for the baby. And so, it sheds out this lining and it comes out as blood. So, what we actually call menses is blood and body tissue from that lining. For a lot of women, they experience menses between 3 to 5 days. I use the word a lot because some women experience extra or shorter. And for some women, menses is actually painless. For some women, it is painful. For the same, one woman can go from painless to painful and go from painful to painless. There are no hard and fast rules, especially when it comes to menses. And like I mentioned before, a lot of women experience a cycle of 28 days. Some people go down to 25, some people go up to 30. There are really it's a very crooked line, let me put it that way, and it's possible for one person to experience different kinds of periods, pain, cycle, days, duration, and all of that. Now, there are lots of ways that women use to ease their pain when it comes to menstruation. For some women, they drink whiskey to make them numb, to kind of make their bodies numb and hopefully get them drunk so that they can sleep and forget about the pain. Some women use over-the-counter pills such as ibuprofen or ibuprofen, as I noticed that some people call it. Some people use aspirin as well to be able to ease the pain. Some people use essential oils such as lavender and sage. You massage your stomach about 5 minutes a day to make it a little better. Some people work out to kind of break down, break your body down and help with the pain. I personally try that and I think it works. For some people, they use a heat patch. They actually have something heated up and they put it in their stomachs. Most women here would put very hot water into a plastic bottle and put it on their stomachs. The idea is it kind of helps with the blood clots so that you can flow faster and you can feel relieved faster. Some women prefer to drink particular things during their period because they say that it helps them. Things such as pamplemousse. Pamplemousse is a Cameroonian drink made from grape, supposedly made from grape. These days we're not sure what's inside, but we'll keep drinking it because you know anything about us, you know that we love our drinks. So there are other methods that some people even use orgasms to feel better. Yes, there are lots of women that say that sex during their menses actually eases the pain for them. Some people drink tea, some people take ginger, some people take turmeric, some people take cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon. Some ladies get right to the point of taking injections during menstruation. Yes, guys, it is not an exaggeration. I mean, I'm talking to guys here as in males. It's not an exaggeration. When you see some of these ladies in pain and crying and wailing, they're actually in a lot of pain. Trust me. I've never gotten to that point yet, but if I get to the point that I get to, I like to imagine that for people that are worse than that are really in a lot of pain. So there is no exaggeration here, trust me. And for some ladies, they get to find out that they are suffering from STDs, sexually transmitted diseases during their menses. I think that for people that are suffering from chlamydia, they tend to see their menses are having a darker shade of red, very dark, and they're experiencing a lot of pain, and sometimes even down to an offensive menses. Some people that suffer from chlamydia would present, some signs would present like that. And there are other diseases as well that you can also discover when it's that time. So it's very important for us to check ourselves during that time so that you can be able to get treatment and help. All right, it is important for us to note that the same women experience different or shifting cycles. I remember having this conversation with a couple of guys, and they were asking me, what do you mean when you say that your cycles are changing? It means that you've not mastered it well or something like that. But that is not the fact. Women actually experience changing cycles, and that could be due to a number of things. It could be due to the girl's emotions, it could be due to hormones, they could also be due to the medication that the girl is taking at the moment, and it could also be due to the weather. Yes, when you change location, especially when you move to a different country that has a different time zone, your body also has to adjust to that. Personally, when I'm stressed, my period comes earlier and lasts longer. Thank you very much. So all of those things go into determining how the cycle can easily be changed from one point to the other. So do not be surprised if she says, my period came 22nd of last month and this month it came on the 27th. All of those things are real. All of those things actually do happen. I'm taking the time to say all of these things because I believe that it's important, and I believe that it's not being wasted. A lot of the time we assume that people know and have this information because we feel like it's everywhere, but not necessarily. I want to send a special thanks and shout out to Madame Mirel. She actually sent me a message telling me last week that she showed the sex education video I did to her babysitter, and it actually helped her with the sex talk and all of that, because she's actually a big girl that did not know exactly how to manage herself during this puberty and all of that. So I believe that all of this is not being wasted. So don't feel like I am repeating it. Trust me, this information is going a long way. Madame Muriel helped one person with it, and one person is enough for me. Okay, so as ladies, generally we use pads, tampons, and menstrual cups during our periods, but most ladies in Cameroon and Africa, we use pads. I tried a tampon one time, it was so uncomfortable. I did not sit down the whole day. But for people that use it, they say that it actually has a lower chance of staining you if you use it, which brings me to my next point. We live in a time and place in our society where stains from blood or stains from menses are still connected with a lot of disgust. And if your menses stain you, it's more disgusting than food or oil or stain from any other thing. And you talk to a couple of people, I ask young guys, especially teenage guys, because that's where the stigma starts, and I ask them, like, why is blood stain worse than oil or food? And they were like, it's worse because it comes from a girl's vagina, and so that's what makes it disgusting. Well, guess what? So does Miss World, Jessica Alba, Scarlett Johansson, Blanche Bailey, Daphne, Charlotte DePanda, Debbie Beckham, and all the nice hunky guys that are used for Calvin Klein campaigns when it comes to perfume and underwear and boxes. The point is, periods is how we're all here. It's how we all came here. So we should look so badly into reducing the stigma and shame that we have attached to this. We have to teach children at a very young age, like, baby girl, listen, at one point your body's going to start sending out blood. You, brother, when that starts happening to your sister, you can't laugh at her. Do not laugh at her. Tell your friends not to laugh at her. The stigma and shame is so bad that there are people that there are girls that do not go to school on weeks in which they're menstruating. There are women that do not go to work, because even as big as you may be, people still point and laugh and make a lot of slangs and still associate menstruation with dirty, with being dirty and all of that. And it's something that we really need to look into stopping. So as a society, that's you and I, we need to decouple shame and menses, or humor and bleeding, because trust me guys, there is nothing, yes guys especially, there is nothing funny about somebody bleeding, and it's not irresponsible as well. I have come to realize that some guys think that women that get stained are women that are irresponsible. Guys, sometimes some of these women that are stained actually have pads on, but maybe the placement is not just right. Maybe you wore it well, but because you get to sit five of you behind a taxi, and the way your legs are closed and you have to sit in particular positions, or maybe on a bike, or in any other place, maybe the pads have displaced themselves. These things are cotton, they're soft, so obviously they're going to move. So maybe there's been some sort of displacement. So it's not about being irresponsible. And also, people's periods actually catch them off guard. Women get caught off guard by their periods all the time, especially for people that have been stressed or worried a lot and actually miss the whole window of when the period usually comes. Most of the time it just comes like boom, one day in the middle of a day, afternoon, you're in a meeting somewhere, and there, period is like, whatever sister, I'm here. So it's not, you don't it's not necessarily that these people are irresponsible. The general advice is for us ladies to be able to carry pads around in our bags, like just spread them in many of your bags, or the bags that you're fond of using, so that whenever it meets you, you can be able to manage it properly, or manage it in a way that is hygienic as well. And I had this complaint from a little girl, and I don't even know how people are letting that happen. She says that she doesn't have a safe space to be able to manage her period in, because when she was going into the bathroom and guys were running in there and following her and run, I mean, I know that guys laugh, but to actually run and follow her and want to see what she's doing and all of that, that is strange. And I don't know who's encouraging little boys to be doing that kind of thing, but hopefully we can be able to talk to our children, boys and girls as well, and educate them properly about menstruation and the attitudes that we should have surrounding it, because we need, as women, we need safe and hygienic spaces to be able to manage our periods. And guys, I'm sorry, but you guys are the highest on the list of making it uncomfortable for us. Another social construct that I picked up in the conversation surrounding menses is that a lot of men believe that women are using menses as a way to weaponize sex against men. Like, a lot of women would tell you that they are on their menses when they're not, just so that they can avoid having sex with men. And obviously a lot of the men that express this are not very happy with it. In cases like that, I'd like to always ask, like, if she says no normally, would it be a problem? Like, would you bother her further if she says no? Because maybe you can't take no for an answer. Maybe she has to resort to lying to you. I'm not justifying that lying is a good thing. And then there's also the case of women that are too sweet, people that don't know how to say no to people. They prefer to lie so that they don't hurt your feelings or make you feel bad. Not that hurting feelings is supposed to be anybody's aim, but the truth about it is that sometimes a hard no is going to protect you from some things. Guys, honestly, like I said before, some people's menstruation process is really very painful, and for them during that point, a lot of them are not thinking about having sex with anybody, because it just makes it a little harder. But there are women that are rather interested in having orgasms during their periods, because to them it makes the pain easier. Whichever one you find yourself in, fine. But if you find yourself in a situation in which a woman is saying no, generally even out of periods, I think it's best to just let her be. Yes, there is also the thing of your body belongs to me and my body belongs to you, for husband and wife according to the Bible. But I think that in 365 days in a year, we can spare 4 to 5 every month, and the world will not stop turning. Another reason why women say that they use menses to weaponize sex against men is because they find some men too stingy. There are some uncles that in their normal lives, they don't have, the answer is always, I don't have money, I don't have money. But when sex is involved, these men can actually promise to get a woman a car, and she will follow up with a promise in the morning when everybody's sober and end up having that car. Sometimes she's probably just trying to get something that will make her life easier, like a gas cooker. And I don't have money, but if sex is involved, the money comes out. If tables were turned, what do you think? That the person actually has the money and they're just lying to you, right? I think that that's the principal reason that is pushing women to use sex as a trump card or a bargaining chip to get what they want. And if there's no money, I'm on my menses. If there's money, let's do. So so I think that it can help if we're more honest in our relationships, and if we're more honest to our partners, our spouses, husbands and wives, about where we are financially, because most of it always boils down to money. Gift giving is a very serious love language for a lot of women, and if you know that that is how your woman in particular is, it's good to give it, not necessarily wait to be manipulated before you get to that point, because eventually we all get to that point. And for being honest, we're all manipulating each other. We're all manipulating each other in a way or two. And so guys, before I end this, I would like you to know, if you're a young girl, young guy, old girl, whoever you are watching this, I want us all to know that periods are a thing of pride, and it's nothing to be disgusted by. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Periods are not dirty. It's something to be very, very proud about. I think what happens in your body when you get pregnant and you're bringing life into the world is something that's still very magical. I call women baskets of nature, and it's something that we should celebrate and talk about with a lot of pride. So do not be ashamed to move up to your dad and ask for pad, who asked for why is this happening to me, and all of that and all of that. Do not be ashamed about it. You have to be proud about it. There is also PMS. Now that is a discussion for another day, because I'm actually hoping that I can bring on a guy and we talk about that, real life, man to woman. There are a lot of wonderful institutions that are pushing forward the conversation on menstruation in a very positive direction. There is the Welisane Foundation. I think she spoke about it on CRTV on the evening of that day. Menstruation Foundation is engaged in the fabrication and distribution of reusable pads for girls. Believe it or not, there's still people that cannot afford 600 francs a month for 10 pads. And no, those people do not live in space. Those people live right here in this country. So if you can, it's very important for you to help. If you can, I'm sure that you can find a number for mobile money or orange money transaction on their Facebook page. Their Facebook page is called Welisane Foundation. I think that a box of reusable pads should be like 2,500. So if you can send that, or even more or even less, is definitely going to help to serve a girl somewhere. There are a lot of girls that are living in abject poverty, a lot of girls that have been affected by the crisis, both Corona and the Anglophone crisis, and there are lots of girls that have been displaced from their homes and they cannot afford a decent life. They cannot manage their periods in a hygienic and decent way because of the absence of money. The reusable pads for girls is definitely going to help girls like that, since they can use it once and twice and use it for a really long time before discarding them. There's also the She platform that is engaged in helping women develop in all spheres of life. I think they recently did a 50-50 campaign, which was about helping 50 women start small businesses that can help them be empowered economically, whether it's frying akra beans, popov, and that was really amazing. They're also engaged in helping when it comes to menstrual hygiene. You can find them on sheplatform.com. And there is also Leap Girl Africa. You can find them on social media platforms. I'm particularly interested in their Twitter presence. I think lately they've been doing some conversations over the weekend about contemporary issues and gender. I think the last one I was a part of was about COVID and gender. It's great. You should follow them on Twitter so that you can be able to get all of this information. These are not promos. They're not paying me to say all of the things, but I'm saying them to my amazing 98 subscribers, because I believe that These are PSAs, public service announcements, and these are, when it comes to menstruation and things like that, those are things that we should all be in the know of, because it involves all of us. Like I said, is how we all got here. So it's something that we should all be in the know, and something that we should all be actors in helping to raise good awareness about it. Good awareness, please. It is very important for us to be engaged on that side of the fight. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm actually counting on you to share this video, because you and I have the responsibility of stopping the shame and stigma that is associated with menstruation. And we have the responsibility of bringing out the celebration and the pride that there is in being able to experience menstruation and all the things, the pain, and everything that comes with it. So guys, when next you see a woman that's stained, walk up to her, let her know that she's stained, and maybe you can help her with directions to the closest or nearest bathroom or closed space in which she can be able to change, or apply a pad, or generally just a safe and hygienic space for her to be able to manage her period. And you can offer her a ride as well. I'm seeing that face, like make me get involved moto. If you had an accident in that same car, the blood that stains your car isn't it blood? How else are you going to clean it out in the same manner? Seriously, you should offer her a ride. Be nice. Parents is how we're all here, dudes. Thank you guys so much for watching.